Victor Wembanyama will be a superstar if healthy, but there are things about him the media is hiding. They want us all to be so excited about his game, they won't look at his flaws. But his prep for the NBA has been unique, and not in a good way. He officially declared for the draft last week and was asked about his putback off a 3 or stopping a 2-on-1 by himself. But it seems like only Charles Barkley has the guts to speak the truth.
It's not going to be, listen, I've been in the NBA for 40 years. I ain't seen but one guy who didn't go to college, who came in, who was ready, and that's LeBron. Kobe was great, he struggled early. Kevin Garnett was great, he struggled early. Dwight Howard, still struggling in Taiwan.
But he's not saying that out of nowhere. Wemby had an offer to play for Barcelona, but turned down higher competition to stay in France. When Luka was his age, he was on Real Madrid, developing against the best in Europe. So the best team in France? Asvel, owned by Tony Parker. But even that was a bad experience. Wemby got a couple of injuries, and they were playing for 2 championships, the French title and the European title. And since Wemby made mistakes, it led to less playing time. So instead of fighting for more minutes, he left Asvel to go to Nets 92. They have a ton of young players, not to win games, but to allow Wemby to be the man. The #1 mission of this team is to prep Wemby for the draft. And they don't even hide it. But first, today's sponsor is Prize Picks. They have been awesome all year, and right now for the playoffs, they're giving just AM Hoops viewers a chance to win $1,000. So if you click the link in the description, you will have a chance to receive a 6-pick flex. If you hit it, you win the 1K. They're picking 5 people who watch AM Hoops. We talked about this last week, but right now is another chance, and they're about to pick the 5 winners. But I want to give you my picks for today. If you've never played Prize Picks, it's just like daily fantasy, except it's not you against other people. It's just you against the projections available. So first up, I'm going Marcus Smart, his points, rebounds, and assists. I think there's a really good spot for him against the Sixers. And then James Harden. Look, Joel Embiid's probably not going to play. 22.5 points does not seem like a lot to me. I'm going to go more and more, and you can play Prize Picks in states like California, Florida, or Texas. If it's your first time playing, enter the promo code AMHOOPS and you get a 100% deposit match bonus. His teammate Tremont Waters said, "Victor has been the elephant in the room the whole time, but we've learned to adapt to it and understand it. And because of that, he's been able to practice more and put up insane stats." Luka not only played at the highest level in Spain, he won the EuroLeague title and MVP before getting drafted. You know other NBA players will be gunning to get that Rookie of the Year over him. Scoot Henderson, Brandon Miller. Maybe Barkley will be right about being NBA ready, but he's the only one saying it. Now, the good part about this is it's allowing Wembanyama to work on his weaknesses, and he does have a weakness. I mean, the media only shows us his strengths, like shooting threes, getting a putback on his own shot when he misses a 3, post skills like fadeaways with good footwork, a decent handle, especially at 7'4". But did you know he only shoots 30% from 3? That's almost Giannis, who shoots 29%. And we don't look at Giannis as this great 3-point shooter, even though that's all they ever show from Wembanyama. I mean, imagine the media only putting together highlights of Giannis shooting 3s. You'd think he was Steph Curry. So Wemby has to go inside more to score, which will be very tough against strong NBA centers. But he has good mechanics, and unless Wemby lacks confidence like Ben Simmons, his shot will come in time. At first, though, on whatever team drafts him, I think he's going to need a big, tough center to start with him, like Brook Lopez type or Rudy Gobert. But the biggest weakness is passing. Wembanyama throws dimes in the flow of the game, but he struggles when he's double teamed, which will happen a lot. But that is not a reason to pass on him at #1, obviously. There is another thing that really scares people. Victor is listed at 7'3". In the history of the league, there have been 26 players that height or taller. Only 12 played for at least 2 seasons. And the only stars were Kristaps Porzingis, Yao Ming, Arvydas Sabonis, and Ralph Sampson. 2 of those guys had career-ending injuries. That means only 2 humans have ever done what Wembanyama is trying to do. We just saw Chet Holmgren try to guard 38-year-old LeBron, in the summer and miss his entire first season. How nervous does this make NBA teams? He's already broke a bone in his leg in 2020, bruised his shoulder out for 2 months, and tore a muscle in his back. And remember, most of those injuries were on that really good French team before he quit. Yeah, the team who was playing like the highest competition possible, and he had 3 injuries in 7 months. Not a good sign. Now, I am not saying that he has like red flag foot injuries like other big men that could be an absolute career killer, but it looks like the workload was too much for his body at the time, so he went down in competition. But GMs would be fired if they had the guts to pass on Wembanyama at number 1. They just have to hope nothing bad happens. I mean, it's like Zion in 2019. There were questions about his body, but you had to take him at number 1. You had no other choice. Then, after he misses a ton of time, they had to pay him the supermax. I mean, if a guy is this talented, but does get injured a lot, he holds the franchise hostage. You know the Pelicans would love to be able to go back in time and take Ja Morant, but they had no choice. Sometimes it is actually a curse to get the number 1 pick if the superstar can't stay healthy. I'm not saying Wemby will be Zion, but the media does not discuss it. But his personal trainers are paranoid about Wemby's health. Steph Curry's pregame routine is famous, but so is Wembanyama's for a different reason. He takes off his shoes and socks and works like crazy on his gigantic feet. NBA players' feet are freaky, yes, but this is another level. They put bands around his big toes to create resistance. Another way to prevent injury is to pack on muscle, like Giannis. But Wemby's shooting coach begged him to put down the weights. The weight will come, but the focus on the weight is a mistake. If you put too much weight too quickly on Victor's body, it's not gonna last. For sure, he will be injury prone. Okay, but there is one other thing that his team is paranoid about that takes down other young stars. Wembanyama has turned down endorsement deals worth a total of almost $100 million. The kid could be as rich as an NBA superstar already, but he chooses not to. How does he do that? Well, he comes from the Le Chesnay neighborhood next to the Versailles Palace outside of Paris. The cheapest home for sale right now in that neighborhood is $1.2 million. It's safe to say Wemby's doing all right. Instead, he focuses on hoops, and he turns down almost every interview. When he gets to the league, though, the spotlight is going to be insane. So he's trying to keep a low profile now, and because of that, there's a lot about Wembanyama we don't know. He's not like other teenagers. Instead of rap, he listens to classical music. Instead of being on his phone, he's more likely to be drawing with his art supplies on the team bus. His dream night out isn't going to a club, it's going to an art museum. He's such a smart guy that his coach would bring trivia cards to practice just to try to stump him. One time, pulled a card that he absolutely know would get Wemby. He said, "What bird can fly backwards?" And Wemby immediately said, "Hummingbird, obviously." How did he know that? Dude is mature, he's smart, and he's a leader, but the media is putting LeBron-level expectations on this kid. At least, though, he won't be drafted to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I hate to say that, but it's true. Even their fans will tell you it is bad. Anthony Edwards has been overshadowed in the playoffs by losing games, but dude has been amazing. It makes you wonder, how long will it be before he demands a trade like Kevin Garnett did before him? Check it out.